Hey everyone, this is Callie. Thanks so much for being here with me today. Today we're celebrating the release of the Clearly Besotted STAMPtember exclusive collaboration set. This set is called Sending Sunshine. And so before we get started with our card, you probably can't tell, but there's an interactive element to it with some action wobbles. So be sure to keep watching to see that element in action. This stamp set contains several cute critters holding sunflowers as well as a scene image, so we're going to stamp and color a few of those. I have my images stamped out with a Copic-friendly ink, and now we're going to color with Copic markers. I've got the Copic marker caps up on top for you there, but if you're interested in the color combinations that I use throughout the whole entire card, be sure to check out my blog where all of the specifics and color combinations will be listed for you, and everything will be linked for your convenience as well. So I'm using a darker orange for the center flowers, and then I'm going to flick out with a medium orange to yellow gradient and then go in with the lightest yellow to blend all of that in. I'll do the same thing with all of the sunflowers, so I won't be sharing how I colored all of them. Just wanted to make this video quicker for you since there's lots of content to watch, I'm sure, with all of these STAMPtember collaborations, and everyone is working so hard to bring you new inspiration. For the flower centers, I'm using some brown markers. I went in with a light brown first and just flushed the entire area. Then I'm going to go in with the darkest brown and just dot it for some seed texture. So I've gone around the outer edge, and then I also do a ring on the inside. And then to soften that up, I go in with a medium brown and do the same thing. And that's just going to lighten up some of that dark brown but still add texture. And then we'll go in with some greens to color the stems. The coloring is very simple here, a light, medium, and dark shade. I'm going in with the dark first and then blending it out with the medium and the light if necessary. Okay, so before I color my critters, I want to move on to this scenery stamp or image that I stamped. So I'm coloring it with some greens. I'm using a different green. I wanted it to be a little bit darker for the background. So I'm using G03 and G09, and I'm just going to blend those very quickly, and then I'll go in with an even lighter green to add to the tips of those for some additional shading and interest. I wanted the clouds in the horizon there to have some color too, so I'm going to go in with a light blue marker and just add a bit of some little lines outlining those clouds, and then I'm going to draw that out with an even lighter blue. I'm going to quickly color the sun image here. It's so tiny, and I'm also using the same colors that I used on the sunflowers. So we're going to quickly color that, and then I'll go in and work with those wheat stems, and I'm just going to use a light brown to add some dots at the bottom of these little individual seeds, and then I'll go over the entire thing with a soft yellow to blend those colors together. And then we're done with that. So I'm going to set it aside, and then we'll finish up here with our critters. I think these are dogs. I'm not really sure. They're just so cute. It doesn't even matter what they are, right? Okay, so I'm using two different browns for the left and middle critters. I'm going to dot their cheeks with some R30 just to give them a little bit more blush and interest. And then on the little cat here, I'm going to use some orange markers to give him a bit of color. All right, so when I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut out all of these images. Clearly Besotted doesn't really have coordinating dies for their images anyway, but because this is a STAMPtember exclusive, Simon Says Stamp is going to give you the option to buy dies with your set as well. So be sure to grab that if dies are important to you. I'm going to use my fine tip scissors here from Simon Says Stamp and fussy cut all of my images. When I'm done fussy cutting my images, I will set them aside and work on a background. My card today is going to be a mini slim size card. That scenic stamped image that I did is perfect for the width of a mini slimline card, so I thought that was going to be a good idea to make it that size. I'm going to use some Distress Oxides. I'm using Lucky Clover now to kind of ink blend the bottom of my card to match the green on that scene image, and then I'm going to use some blues for the top. I'm using Salty Ocean right now, and I'm just going to blend from dark to light into the green. And then for a little bit more contrast, I'm going to use the Prize Ribbon to make the top a bit darker. I probably didn't need to use a darker color, but I had set it out to use, and so I committed myself to the process. So here is prize ribbon, and when I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and trim off just 1/8 of an inch off all the sides to clean up the panel. So I don't want my matting to be too thick on the card base, and I'm going to go ahead and start attaching everything. I'm going to attach this scene image first. I decided to go ahead and trim off the white border so that it can kind of blend into that green blended area a little bit better. I'm going to attach it directly to my card panel there, and then everything else will be popped up with dimension. So here are the little mini Action Wobbles. I'm going to use 3 of them for each of my sunflower images. These are so easy to use. So there's a plastic spring and there's adhesive on both sides. So you're going to take one side, I like to use this one with the hollow center, to adhere to the back of an image. And then I'll remove the release paper on the back, which is adhered to that spring as well. And that has adhesive on it, and it's going to create lots of dimension for your card. And then I'll use that to adhere to my card. So for placement, you want to make sure it's exactly where you want it to be, and then you can press it down. Now all you have to do is flick it with your finger, and you have this fun wobble action on your card. I'm going to do that with the other 2 images as well. And it looks like these critters are floating in the air with their sunflowers, but they also wobble, and you can play with them, and it's just so much fun for a recipient. Last but not least, we have that tiny little sun image that we colored. I used a little 3D foam square to give him some dimension, and then all we have to do is stamp our sentiment. I decided to just stamp something simple and directly onto the card, and then we can attach this whole entire panel to a card base. And then to give the card a bit more interest and texture, I'm going to go in with my white gel highlight and just add some dots in the center of the sunflowers and on the cheeks of the little critters and make it a little bit more interesting with some texture. And that'll finish my fun little Action Wobble card for today using the Clearly Besotted STAMPtember exclusive collaboration set. This set is only available while supplies last, so be sure to grab your set if you're interested in it. It'll be linked in the descriptions below for your convenience. Thanks so much for stopping by, and have a great day, everyone. Bye!